Hi everybody, welcome back, thanks for joining me. In this video, I'm going to share with you my top 10 tobacco scents from Perfume Parlour. Let's talk tobacco. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you may know that I'm a big fan of Perfume Parlour, which is a company based in the UK, although they do ship worldwide. I'm also a big fan of the note of tobacco in fragrances. If it weren't for Perfume Parlour, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to realise quite as quickly as I did how much I loved tobacco in fragrances. Because their fragrances are so cheap, it gives you the opportunity to purchase quite a lot and really try things out and really discover notes. And I quickly discovered that generally, if I smelled a fragrance that had the note of tobacco in, I really enjoyed it. So this is just my experience with the house. I think there's a lot of their tobacco scents here, but obviously not all of them. So some of them I still haven't tried. So maybe if you've tried some that I don't mention in this video, let me know if they're any good and I'll make a purchase. I'm also running a giveaway, so stay tuned till the end of the video to find out how to enter. Okay, let's talk tobacco. Number 10 is based on my current favourite scent. This one is a lovely boozy cognac tobacco scent. Although the tobacco isn't really that much of a prominent note in this one, it's still there a little bit. In this we also get ginger and vanilla and musks. It's just a beautiful, classy, refined, luxurious scent. I am of course talking about Roja Enigma. Perfume Parlour's version is Roja Enigma. I've got to say, and I've mentioned this before, it's not really that close to Enigma. I'd say it's maybe 50% of the way there. You don't get that lovely, luxurious, thick cognac note, and often with Enigma it's described that you get almost a cherry coke vibe in the opening, so a really pleasant sweetness, and you don't really get that from this one either. What you do get is a nice sweet fragrance with some florals, very pleasant, very wearable, so not that great a copy of the original, but still a very pleasant scent, which is why it's only at my number 10. Number 9 is based on a Creed fragrance that I don't actually own a bottle of, or a sample, or a decant. I have smelled it before, but I couldn't really directly compare how close this is to the original, but I'm just mentioning this one because it is still a really nice scent. It was actually recommended by one of my subscribers that I should pick this one up from Perfume Parlour because they tried it, they thought it was a great version of the original Creed, and it is just a really nice scent in its own right as well. This one is Tabarome's. And this is based on Creed's Tabarome Millésime. With this one you get some bergamot and tangerine, so quite a citrusy opening. There's also some ginger and leather, which are relatively subtle, but you can detect them. And the tobacco note in this, again, isn't a really prominent, rich, resinous type of tobacco. It may be a tobacco leaf, I'm not certain of that. But it is just a really nice fragrance. It has that classic Creed feel to it. Because of its sweet, citrusy nature, for me, this one would work really well in the summer. Number 8 is based on a scent that I do have a bottle of in my collection. It's one of my favourite tobaccos. It gets a lot of love in the community. Many people call this a masterpiece, and it's certainly in a lot of people's autumn and fall rotations. It is Shaggy from Serge Lutens. Perfume Parlour's version is called Chergui. This is a really nice interpretation of Shaggy. It does share a lot of the same characteristics. I would say that with this, the hay note that you get in Shaggy, which is beautiful, isn't quite as pronounced. It is there, but it's stronger in the original. And also, you get a nice blast of incense in Shaggy, and you don't quite pick that up to the same degree in Perfume Parlour's version. In the air, it does recreate that Shaggy DNA really nicely. It's a lot cheaper, and if you're interested in trying Shaggy and you're not quite sure if it's for you, then Perfume Parlour's version will certainly give you a good idea of the scent. Coming in at number 7 is a scent based on one of my favourite tobaccos. This is from the Tom Ford Private Blend. We've got tobacco, we've got oud. Any ideas? Of course it's Tom Ford's Tobacco Oud. Perfume Parlour's version is called Tobacco's Oud. This is a really nice interpretation. It's pretty close to the original. It's not quite as potent in my opinion, and it doesn't have quite the animalic punch that the original does. This Can be a bit of a divisive fragrance. It's not for everyone because of that animalic nature, because of the boldness. This is a real statement maker. This is a little smoother, and some people can find the original Tobacco Oud a little bit too much. So if you're one of those people and you want something very similar, but just a little bit smoother with less of that animalic accord, then the Perfume Parlour version could be worth trying out. Number 6 is based on one of my favourite designer tobacco scents. I'd never want to be without a bottle of this in my collection. I just adore this one. We've got honey, we've got tobacco. It's based on that really gorgeous Amen DNA. It's of course Pure Havane. Perfume Parlour's version is called Amen Pure Heaven. And again, this is really close. As we get higher up the list, each of these scents is getting closer and closer to matching the original. I would say that this is a little more toned down in the opening. With Pure Havane, you get more of a screechy, louder opening that's typical of that cardamom blast that you get from the Amen DNA. So this one is a little smoother in the opening, but you still get that lovely honey tobacco vibe, like a sweet cherry tobacco. This one is just fantastic. Number 5 is based on a tobacco scent from one of my favourite houses. It's Parfums de Marly. In this one, we have cinnamon, tobacco leaf, incense and vanilla. It's just a stunning scent. I'm talking about Herod, which is one of the most popular from the house of Parfums de Marly. Perfume Parlour's version is called Herod's. It's very good. It doesn't quite have as prominent tobacco note and doesn't quite have the incense that the original has, but it does give you that Herod DNA. So in the air, it's going to smell very, very similar. If you're really into your fragrances, particularly interested in the house of Parfums de Marly and you know their fragrances and their scent DNA really well, if you test them side by side, you're going to detect a difference and you'll come to the conclusion that the original is the higher quality, which you would kind of expect because the price is so high compared to the price of these Perfume Parlour copies. But for most people wearing it, it's going to do the job. In the air, no one would really be able to tell that much of a difference between the two scents anyway. So if you're interested in the scent and the original is maybe a bit too expensive, this is going to do the job for you. Okay, all the fragrances I've talked about up until this point have been very good, but there are noticeable differences between them and the originals. What you have to decide is, when you think about the low cost of these compared to the originals, even though they may not be exact copies, it could still be worth your while purchasing. But at the end of the day, that's something you have to weigh up and decide. Your choice. On to number 4. This one's based on one of my favourite designer scents. In the opening, we've got a lovely, sweet, smooth grapefruit. There's ginger, orange blossom, and tobacco with some amber providing depth and rounding things out. This is a stunning designer scent. It is Dolce & Gabbana's The One. This is the EDP version. Perfume Parlour's is called The One. All these scents in the top 4, in my opinion, are remarkably close to the originals. This one included. I can't really tell any difference between the scent of this and the original Dolce & Gabbana. This is known to have performance issues in that it's not the best performer. It's not a really bad performer, but maybe doesn't have the best longevity. This one fixes that by a little bit, not a massive amount of difference, but it is slightly better in terms of performance, certainly for me anyway. So The One from Perfume Parlour is a really solid offering. Number 3 is an absolute stunner. This is based on a fragrance from the house of Nasomatto. This is Beast Mode. It's a bold statement maker. We've got a deep, rich, resinous tobacco. There's a hint of a cannabis note. I am of course talking about Black Afgano, and Perfume Parlour's version is called Black Afg. This is extremely close to the original. It's such an intoxicating scent. Oh, amazing. The colour of the juice is actually darker than the original. It's just super black. I would say that if I'm digging deep, the original is just a touch sweeter than this one, but this is an excellent interpretation and it really is a true bad boy frag. For number 2, we're going back to the house of Tom Ford. This is another from the private blend. In this we have a lovely spiced vanilla, tobacco. It is Tobacco Vanille, and Perfume Parlour's version is called Tobacco's Vanillas. This to me is pretty much identical. I can't tell a difference. Some people out there may be able to, but for me, it's an exact interpretation. As far as I'm concerned, Perfume Parlour have done a fantastic job of recreating the classic that is Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. Here we are at number 1. The number 1 scent is based on a fragrance from the house of by Kilian. It's another honey and tobacco scent. It's based on by Kilian's Back to Black. This is Backs to Black. I find this has a really addictive quality to it. It's sweet, but it never gets overly sweet. It's got lots of depth. It's got this gorgeous resinous quality that just seems to work so well with the almost sticky texture of the honey. The original by Kilian version is a scent to die for. Perfume Parlour's version is, in my opinion, just as good in both scent and performance. It's a magical fragrance to wear, especially at this time of year with this autumnal weather. It's going to be my scent of the day. This is just refined and classy and hugely enjoyable. Let's do a giveaway. It will be open internationally. The winners will receive my top 3 tobacco scents from this list in these 13mm sprayers. All you have to do to have a chance to win is like and comment on this video. I'll contact the winner in a week's time via YouTube. I will also pin the name of the winner as the top comment underneath this video. So if the winner hasn't responded to my message after a week, then I will rerun the random comment picker and choose somebody else. Okay, that's it from me. I really enjoyed talking tobacco with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If you've tried any of these scents, let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree with my top 10? Have you tried some tobacco scents from Perfume Parlour that I've not talked about, that I need to get my nose on? Let me know, because I need to grab them. Thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, keep tuning into FM and keep smelling good.